Germany, a land of breathtaking castles, cutting-edge technology, and rich history. But behind the postcard-perfect landscapes, there exist cities that are anything but charming. Some are plagued by crime, others by economic decay, and some have such a dark history that even today, people hesitate to step foot in them. But which German cities are the most hated, and why do people avoid them at all costs? Buckle up, because today, we're diving deep into the 10 most hated cities in Germany, uncovering the shocking reasons behind their bad reputations. Number 10. Duisburg. Welcome to Duisburg, a city that once powered Germany's economy, but now struggles to survive. Once a thriving steel and coal hub, Duisburg's golden days ended in the 1980s when industry collapsed. The result? Thousands of job losses, businesses shutting down, and entire neighborhoods falling into poverty. Ask any German and they'll tell you, Duisburg is dangerous. With one of the country's highest crime rates, this city is infamous for gang violence, drug trafficking, and robberies. Even locals warn against walking alone at night. And let's be honest, Duisburg isn't exactly easy on the eyes. Decaying factories, gray skies, and rundown buildings make it one of the ugliest cities in Germany. Many people who live here are just waiting for a chance to leave. Number 9. Frankfurt, Germany's financial powerhouse, home to the European Central Bank. A city of wealth, luxury, and crime. Behind the shimmering towers and high-end restaurants, Frankfurt has a dark side. It has one of the highest crime rates in Germany, especially in areas like the Bahnhofsviertel, the city's notorious red light district. Drug abuse, street violence, and theft are a daily reality here. And then there's the attitude. Many Germans feel that Frankfurt doesn't even feel like part of Germany anymore. The city is often called too international, where English is spoken more than German, and where the cost of living is unbearable for the average citizen. It's flashy, expensive, and, to some, completely soulless. Number 8. Leipzig, the city that wanted to be the next Berlin. For years, people called it Leipzig, a paradise for artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs. But today, Leipzig is a city of broken dreams. Rapid gentrification has made rents skyrocket. The cheap, creative spaces that once defined the city are disappearing, replaced by overpriced apartments and hipster cafes. Locals are furious, feeling like their hometown is being taken over by wealthy outsiders. And then there's the violence. Leipzig has become a hotbed for political clashes, far-left and far-right groups battling it out in the streets. Riots, vandalism, and even attacks on police have become common. Leipzig tried to be the new Berlin, but many now say it's just another city losing its soul. Number 7. Hanover, the city that nobody cares about. Ask any German and they'll probably say, "Oh yeah, Hanover. What's even there?" It's not that Hanover is bad, it's just painfully boring. It has no unique personality, no charm, no real cultural identity. It's a city people only visit for business conferences, then leave as quickly as they came. Even locals admit, if you're young and looking for excitement, Hanover is not the place to be. Number 6. Berlin, Germany's capital, its most famous city, and also one of its most hated. Sure, Berlin is a magnet for artists, musicians, and dreamers. But ask native Germans, and they'll tell you, Berlin is dirty, chaotic, and falling apart. The streets are covered in garbage and graffiti. Public transport is unreliable. Crime is rising, and in many neighborhoods you'll hear more English than German. To some, Berlin is an exciting, rebellious paradise. But to others, it's just an overrated, overpriced mess. Number 5. Gelsenkirchen. Welcome to Gelsenkirchen, a city that once thrived on coal and steel, but today is Germany's poorest city. For decades, this city fueled the German economy. But when the coal industry collapsed, so did Gelsenkirchen. Factories shut down, jobs disappeared, and the economy crumbled. Today, more than 25% of its residents live in poverty, one of the highest rates in Germany. Unemployment is sky high, crime is on the rise, and the streets are filled with desperation. Many parts of Gelsenkirchen feel abandoned, as if the city has simply given up. Number 4. Wilhelmshaven. You might think a coastal city would be lively, full of tourists, seafood restaurants, and vibrant nightlife. But Wilhelmshaven, it's the complete opposite. Wilhelmshaven was built as a major naval base, but today, it feels completely lifeless. The local economy depends heavily on the military and shipping industries, meaning there's nothing for young people or tourists. Most of the younger population has moved away, leaving behind an aging community and a city with no energy, no nightlife, and no future. If you're under 40 and living in Wilhelmshaven, chances are you're just waiting to leave. Number 3. Cottbus, a city that should be beautiful, with its charming old town and historic buildings. But instead, it has gained a terrifying reputation. Why? Because Cottbus has become one of Germany's most racially divided cities. Over the past decade, the city has seen a rise in far-right extremism and violence. Protests, street fights, and even hate crimes have turned Cottbus into a city that many outsiders fear to visit. Many immigrants and minorities feel unsafe here, and even Germans from other cities avoid Cottbus, fearing its hostile atmosphere. Number 2. Bitterfeld, once called the dirtiest city in Europe, and even today it's still one of Germany's most polluted places. During East Germany's communist rule, Bitterfeld was heavily industrialized, with no environmental regulations. The result? Toxic air, contaminated soil, and poisoned water. Even after reunification, the damage was so severe that parts of the city were declared uninhabitable. Although efforts have been made to clean up Bitterfeld, its reputation still haunts it. Many Germans refuse to move here, fearing health risks and the city's ugly industrial landscape. Number 1. Halle. And finally, we reach Halle, a city that many Germans call the most depressing place in the country. Once a thriving part of East Germany, Halle never fully recovered after reunification. Factories closed, people left, businesses failed. Today, it feels like a place where time has stopped. The economy is weak, the unemployment rate is high, and crime is a growing problem. Many young people move away as soon as they can, leaving behind an aging, struggling population. And then, there's the atmosphere. Halle feels lifeless. It's not just poor. It's not just run down. It's a city where hope seems to have disappeared. And there you have it. The 10 most hated cities in Germany. Some fell into economic ruin. Others are known for crime, racism, or pollution. But all of them share one thing in common: a reputation that makes people want to leave. So, what do you think? Do these cities deserve their bad reputations? Or is there more to their stories? Have you ever visited any of them? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Germany's darkest cities, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video.